Hello and welcome to my first ever Astroneer video, guide, tutorial, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be building a auto scrap train, or a variant of a auto scrap train, and yeah, we're here on Calidor, and this is, I figure, a good place to test it. You know, you can test it really anywhere, but we're going to build it here and test it here, because yeah. Alright, so behind me, over here, we have all the necessary components. I'm not going to bother listing them off, but I will have a list of the materials, like, you know, resources, or not resources, but materials you need to build this auto scrap train for yourself. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. As you see, we got 4 large rovers. So the first thing we're going to want to do is unpack these guys. And that way... Whoa, that one went flying up. Oh yeah, you guys got hydraulics now, do you? Bounce, bounce, bounce. Alright. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build up the front part of the auto scrap train. And, as you've seen in the title, I decided to call this the Astropiercer. I don't know, I just thought it was a different name, you know? Okay, so first thing we want to do, get a Rover Seat, unpack that. Excellent. Then we're going to get the front accessories, and these basically are going to, you know, if you know a little bit about Astroneer already, the paver can be used to essentially create roads. So if you're about to drive off a cliff or something, right, you can use the paver to save your ass. And it doesn't really matter what drill strength you got, long as you have the, you know, the drill piece there. Alright, and then we're going to take a medium soil container. Well, medium fluid and soil canister, I should say. We're going to stick that guy there. And then right here we got 2 RTGs. You're going to need a total of 3 regular RTGs. I know I only say regular because they added the QT RTGs. You can find them randomly in places, you know, searching around. Just make sure. Yeah, that's gonna bother my OCD if those aren't facing the right way. As funny as that might be to some people. And now we need to get... the only thing I think I'm missing here is soil canisters, and those don't take much to make. I think it's just like resin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Yes, please. Just go. Don't stop. Make me 3. Thank you. Alright, grab these. Yeah, this is the one that was making the other trails. Like I said, you don't really need maximum drill strength, but, you know, it's nice to have drill strength 3. Okay. Now we got our 3 canisters, and I'll show you what we're going to do with those next. Make sure this is on output, so it should say disable output if it's out, like, you know, it's allowing soil to go out of it. So now we got the Autoarms part. And this is where a soil centrifuge is going to go. Well, not quite there, but right there. And then we're going to put a auto arm there. Right there. Unpack that. Now we want this one, yeah, to be facing like this. Oh yes, I forgot. We're gonna need filters. So this one faces this way. Let me just do that. So as you can see, when they're fully separate, like, you know, connected and they spread apart there, this one is going to still be able to reach over here and grab. So anything in the green zone, the green colored area, is going to be grabbed by the auto arm, and anything in the blue zone over here is going to go to the soil centrifuge. So this auto arm you want going that way, right? And I should have made more canisters, so you're gonna need Let's see. No, this one has to be empty. And then we have to fill up one of these canisters. Actually, I think I have a full one on me. Perfect. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm creating filters for the Autoarms. So they know, you know, what to grab and not to grab. This one's only going to grab full canisters and, you know, put them into the soil centrifuge as necessary. This one will always grab them when they're empty and put them back over here. Okay, so I can grab this guy. We got 2 of those. I usually use 3, but you can use 2. It honestly does not really matter. So we're gonna do that. Where'd you go? Okay, I don't even know why you went there, but whatever. Whatever, man. Whatever, homie. Let's just separate these guys a little bit. Okay. So now if I put that up there, yeah, it'll stay there. See, and it gets grabbed by that one. Now, I believe if there was soil in there, it would start, you know, attaching it to the medium canister and filling them up. Yeah, that's correct. Just making sure I do this right and explain this the best I can as I quickly build this before I, you know, demonstrate how it works. Alright, so now we got this part. This is where all the, I don't know, all your stuff is going to be created. So the way this auto scrap train works efficiently is you make small canisters from soil. And then eventually the small canisters are going to get scrapped. And that's how you accumulate all your scrap. So we're just going to leave that on like that. We're going to set that to always on. So whenever it gets resin, it's always going to be creating canisters for us. Now we're going to have 3 small generators. Why do we have 3 small generators? Well, they help filter out some of the stuff you'll be collecting as you're, you know, driving along with this auto scrap train. The way these work basically is, as soon as organic hits them, they will, there we go, got some light, they will basically take it and start to break it down. That's the way that helps with this. What else do we need? We got another auto arm that we'll be placing right here. And then we want a medium storage over here. So I'm just going to unpack that real quick. I'm going to adjust this. So this one is always going to be facing this way. So you want the green zone towards this. And this guy, we're basically going to put a resin filter on. Because this is always going to be making resin. And we want it always working, right? So I'm going to quickly go grab some more resin. Whee! Okay. So once we're back here, we take our resin resource, once again, and we put it on top like that. That creates a filter. Now we don't ever have to worry about that being an issue. And this thing, you just set it down like that. Now here's an optional choice, I guess. You can choose to have a light on it. I just put a light right here. You know, so I can see from a distance when I'm driving the train up there. At nighttime I can see what's going on back here. Alright, so we have another RTG. We have a auto arm. And our large shredder. So we're going to put our large shredder right here. Just like that. And this is kind of another optional thing for you. If you want, you can use a large resource canister. It holds up to 400 of a single resource, so you can hold up to 400 scrap with this thing. And basically the way that works is soil gets converted to resin, and then from there the resin is turned into a small canister, and the small canisters are then taken and, you know, basically grind down. So what we're gonna do is we take this completely empty one and we use that as a filter. We can turn that on now. And I could put this back over here. Okay, there we go. And then the reason why I have 3 RTGs for this design is because I tried it with 2 and it would kind of run out of power sometimes. So with 3, it's optimal. And another thing I was thinking was, if you really wanted to, because supposedly an RTG outputs 4 units of power, 4 amps, 4 volts, whatever the hell you want to call it. Okay, so theoretically, right, if you got 8 of these QT RTGs, right, which is like just a little RTG thing, right, then yeah, like you could easily what am I trying to say? My theory is, if you take 8 QT RTGs, you can take out one of these, right, and then put a medium storage like up here, and then that's my theory. It should be the equivalent of 2 RTGs if you have 8 QT RTGs on a medium storage, which will take up less space, right? So that's something I wanted to point out. And then if you do that, right, you have the 8 QT RTGs up here where this one is. Then you could replace this RTG with another medium soil canister, which, you know, is going to be helpful. Whoops. Okay, so to make sure everything's set up correctly, we have no soil canisters, so I'm going to have to grab another one of those. At least another 2. And then, okay, all this looks good. So this is pretty much the overall design right here. I know it looks a little wonky. I'm just gonna move that over there. Looks a little wonky when it's crooked like that, but once it gets going, I'll do my best to explain how to operate this. So just let me go grab some more resin. I think that's the only thing I didn't really have. Okay, so I need to, like I said, now that we got all our filters established, yeah, you go right there. You go right there. So you can put 3 of these things on, but you know, 2 is fine also. Alright, so we're gonna hop in this thing. Game saving. Takes a little bit to save because I have a ton of stuff. Alright, let's accelerate a little bit, straighten this thing out. There we go. And speed is not a problem for this thing, like, considering it's, you know, that long already. Because we have the 3 full-size RTGs, right? We can just kind of rip around anywhere. It's top speed. Even if we're, like, say, creating soil resin from soil, we can, you know, be doing that and shredding things, and it'll be perfect. Alright. You know what? I'll just reverse. Just reverse up the hill like a beast. So you can see the train's already trying to do what it was designed to do, basically. That canister is going to start filling up. Now here's the thing I can't stress enough. When you're using this, you see how there's that circle, right? And that fills up depending on how much soil is accumulated, okay? So you never ever want to fully max that out, because it'll actually cause problems for the system. And yes, it seems like we're kind of going slow now, but this is the way it operates. It crawls at a decent speed, kind of like, you know, some trains would. You can actually, and that's something I should mention too, you can gather resin with this. The only time you'll be actually stopping and the train isn't like 100% auto, I guess, is when you kind of get, like, you pick up other resources other than resin. So resin and organic are fine. The train can process those materials, no issues, you know. It'll keep doing what you want it to do. I don't think we have enough soil there yet. I'm just kind of Waiting till it gets going there. But yeah, this is basically how my Astropiercer auto scrap train works. I like it a lot, actually. What do we got going on here? Something's not. Let's see. I think this is always like a little issue with it. Like, it says it's on, but I have to do that. So that actually gives us a perfect opportunity so you guys can see what's going on here. Yeah, we have the thing over here. But right, watch what happens if I set it to print. It'll automatically place any of the canisters that are created right here, which is nice. And then this arm right here will grab them whenever it's ready. So as you can see, the power is draining. But that's why we have 3 RTGs, right? Because you'll be moving, and then this will be going on. This auto arm grabs the resin. There, on this thing, the printer automatically grabs it, prints off a small empty canister that is in the filter here, so it sees it. It's within its area, as you can see. And basically, yeah, that's how it works. And as you're driving along, right, this is going to fill up with scrap for you, which is fantastic. And I know the ratio for small canisters to scrap isn't, you know, exactly the best, but this is essentially 90% efficient, aside from the little bit of, you know, sometimes, like I said, if you end up drilling into a resource that isn't resin or organic. Because, like I said, either of those things, the train can break down and, you know, construct your small canisters and not have an issue. But soon as it gets something else, right, that's when problems start occurring. You know, I would suggest get a drill strength 2 or 3, depending on the planet you are on, when you're utilizing this scrap train. But I'll show you why, real quick, why I highly recommend that you never ever max out the soil storage on this. The soil storage, guys. I just created a new Astroneer word, stoil. A stoilage. I don't know. But yeah, because it's kind of deceiving, this bar. That blue bar is filling up based upon not only the medium soil canister, but also the soil centrifuge itself. Now, I don't know if anybody was aware of that, but as you can see, I'm continuously collecting soil, right? Not really losing much. And we'll just sit here in the vehicle for, you know, 10-20 seconds or so, right? You can see that as we hear the centrifuge spinning back there, the amount of soil is going down. And that gauge bar, whatever you want to call it, is actually reading the medium soil canister. Oops. Yeah, it's reading the medium soil canister, and it's reading the small ones, and it's reading what's in the soil centrifuge. So as long as you don't actually max that thing out, it doesn't break the whole system here, because these Autoarms are working on filters, right? And if the filter basically sees that, oh, well, this is full, you know, and it keeps filling up, you know, eventually one of the filters doesn't read correctly. I kind of worked out most of the bugs with this thing as best as I could before creating this guide. But yeah, as you can see, like, see how it jumped up there? That's because of all the different soil containers plus the soil centrifuge on this vehicle setup. But this is what I mean by it's pretty much, you know, the most auto, like, scrap train you're gonna find. Because I've seen people making scrap trains and they're not even really 50% auto, considering they make a scrap train. They call it a scrap train. And when you think a train, right, it's something that moves. You know, not something that's stationary. So if they wanted to make mobile scrap stations, that's what they should have called their things, not scrap trains, in my opinion. Because, like, this is something, you know, you only stop once in a while, and that's depending on, you know, where you choose to drive. So if you drive, like, you know, mostly soil areas, there's like not really any resource nodes other than resin and organic, right? You can basically keep just sitting here, listen to music, you know, do whatever. And you know, oh, you see your soil starting to get low? And see, this is why I wanted to sit here for a minute or two and just show everyone what goes on with this thing, why you can't max that bar out. Because the bar is not reading accurately half the time due to the way the game perceives all the soil storages on this setup. So once I see it, like, you know, right about there, I might kick on the drill again, hit the gas, start, you know, accelerating forward. And I'll just, you know, kind of tour on through, keep an eye on that bar. And it's alright if, you know, you create a little bit of a new road or whatever with the paver and use up some soil that way. Because, well, you don't want to get stuck anywhere stupid, right? So. And the cool thing about this is, like, you know, I can get out, basically do whatever. And it makes like a trench too, so it's easy to always follow the path you were previously on. Alright, so this is the setup in action. Just a better view for everyone. Got, you know, soil storage up there. As you can see, it comes down here with our filtering system of Autoarms, which know which ones to place, basically. And like I said, it's nice because it's always replacing them for you, getting it ready. This is probably the slowest part of this right here. I don't think there's any really way to speed this process up right here. Like, it's, you know, working at max efficiency, even if you added more power output, it's not going to go any faster. This is top speed right here for a soil centrifuge. But like I said, this is my my auto scrap train, the Astropiercer. I kind of based the name off of one of my favorite shows. What is it? Snowpiercer. That show is awesome. And, you know, I've always been a big fan of trains since I was younger, so, you know, once I seen that show, I was like, damn, that's awesome. Badass. Look at that. You know, and this is another benefit to this. If you know, you're sitting here kind of waiting, right? And you're like, oh, what the hell am I going to do? Well, you know, you can grab stuff like this, you know, smaller stuff. See what I mean by some things, right, aren't going to get processed. So if you see something like this, right, what you could easily do if you wanted to, so we got our thing set for small generators, right? We can basically make a small Jenny and scrap that. And there we go, we got extra scrap. But in that little bit of time, you know, of you guys watching, we have generated 14 scrap, which isn't bad considering I haven't really done much of anything. I've just driven this vehicle, you know, after assembling it. And yeah, I say, like, guys, that's pretty damn efficient. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my little build. Well, my Astropiercer scrap train. And like I said, hopefully it helps you out with, you know, your scrap needs, any events that require scrap, you know, to complete. This will definitely do the job. And I will be working on other interesting builds and designs in the future. So, you know, if you enjoyed or found it helpful, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a great day out there, everyone.